Okay, yes, we're back. It's I Quit My Band. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fucking
great, dude.
Still good?
pumped up.
We are still good after just reviewing another record. You might be noticing that we're wearing the same clothes as we were in the Tyler the Creator record.
That's how dedicated
review.
we are to continuity.
Yes, and content and reviews.
We just churn them out. We listen to them kind of like once over.
Yeah, we're just like, I think I remember that song.
Yeah, I think this one sucks. Skip it.
I mean, I've done that a couple of times.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
do
gonna
it
lie.
every time we review.
like
I'm like, yeah, no, I know, I remember this one.
You famously have done that like multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, just destroy our credibility.
Yeah,
right
I
as the
forgot
people
about
come
this
in.
one.
But I did listen to this one
Yeah.
a lot.
There was one review where me and you both were just like, I have to remember this one. That's my favorite good.
It's so
I gotta
shameful.
remember this
Just 3
one.
minutes of you guys being like, yes,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
This one with the riff in it.
Yeah. And he was in another band, right?
What was that band called?
Yeah, just keep
cares?
bringing that up during this
Yeah.
review. And they were in another band.
They were from
right?
another
Yeah.
band of some kind.
Thanks everyone for being here. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, go ahead and sub. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Go sub to our Patreon page. We have a new Patreon episode out called Still Bringing It. Go check it out. Go check out the review of Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia, which also came out this week. But now we're shifting gears. We're going from rap to rock. Because we're rockers.
We're rockers.
We're
dude.
rockers. If you can even call this rock, really. Of course, we're talking about the new album, Highly Irresponsible, by the band Better Lovers. We've talked about Better Lovers on the show before. We've reviewed them on the show before. We reviewed their first EP, which came out last year, I believe.
Yes.
It was called God Made Me an Animal. It was like a 4-track EP, I'm pretty sure. Brutal shit. This is Greg Puciato from Dillinfer Escape Plan on lead vocals, and the guys from Every Time I Die.
And then one other guy.
Plus Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah.
He's the Asterisk. He's just like,
yeah.
and this guy, no one even
What
knows.
does he play? Bass or something?
No, he's the other guitar player.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Buckley from Every Time I Die is like the lead.
Yeah, the lead guitarist, and then we have Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy. So famously, Every Time I Die is everyone's favorite band. Like everyone that like you talk to, you're like, what music are you into? And they're just like, I'm into metal, and you're like, what's your favorite? Always Every Time I Die. Like it's always like 80% of the time. They really stole a lot of hearts and minds during their tenure as a band. I was never a huge fan. I got into them late. I listened from the album From Parts Unknown on, and it never really did that much for me. I guess I was more like if I had to choose for like a metalcore band like that, I went a little bit beyond. I was more of like a Dillinfer Escape Plan type of person, mathier, a little bit wilder. Dillinfer Escape Plan also famously broke up after their 2016 record.
Maybe a little late, maybe 2017, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around that. Disassociation, which was what it was called. And I was a huge fan of them. One of the wildest math, I don't even know what to really call it, just metal bands.
Yeah, it's like mathy, noisy metal.
Yeah.
They were definitely out of their peers. Because they would get lumped in with a lot of those metalcore bands at that time, and like I remember listening to like Kill Switch Engage when I was in high school, and then listening to Dillinfer and being like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I remember just like listening to Dillinfer like at the gym, and you're like mid rep, and you're like, "Oh, it's not. There's no, no beat for me to go off."
Yeah, I'm just having a panic attack now.
Yeah, like, ah.
No, I'm similar. I
Sorry? Oh, it's me?
Well, sneak.
Sorry.
preview
Oh,
this.
sneak peek.
Sorry.
You got to pay for that one.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think I heard Every Time I Die first because they had the new black in one of the Guitar Hero games.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
And I was like,
classic.
that's a sick song.
Yeah, yeah.
But I never got super into them. I did like Radical, which was their last record.
Yeah.
They're much more like riff hogs, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
They
Like-
had like the southern type of riffage going on with their music.
Yeah,
which
not
is-
like
Well, not
somewhat
like
Pantera,
Scannerd.
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like that kind of stuff, like a little bit of Southern rock,
yeah.
but
Some Molly Hatchet,
But they're-
A little
influence,
bit.
Yeah,
But they're from Buffalo.
yeah, they're from Buffalo, not Southern guys at
They
all.
rep Buffalo hard, by the way.
Yeah, Snow Hogs,
Snow Hogs.
Snow Dogs,
Snow Riff
Cuba
Dogs.
Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
no hate to the people in Buffalo, but when I think of Buffalo in my head, I just think of like snow and a Domino's pizza. You know what I mean? Like that's just what I think. Like you drive in, there's just
City.
a lone Domino's shop and snow everywhere.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
I've never been.
I've never been.
I've
either.
heard. I mean, I have heard unironically that the wings are incredible. If you get them at the
Buffalo
right
wings.
place, not at Domino's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
at
imagine.
an
Yeah.
authentic Buffalo.
Well, that's where they were invented.
That's right.
At Domino's,
Domino's in
and
Buffalo.
their sole export.
I love the wings in Buffalo.
Domino's got the best wings.
Best wings in
Buffalo.
town from Papa John's. Papa's my friend. He's great.
But yeah, so Every Time I Die, done. Dillinger Escape Plan, done. Two huge, like, massive holes, I feel like, in the metal community after those bands broke up.
And I would say the Every Time I Die one was like shocking.
It was shocking, and the breakup was hard for a lot of people. I mean, I think it was like Keith Buckley, like they had like some infighting with the band between him and the rest of the band, and they split off. You know, so there was some like nasty like notes app apology explanations.
Yeah, I remember they went like back and forth on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
and-
Whereas I felt like Dillinger was kind of like they did it more gracefully, like where they're just like, this is their last record. you
Yeah.
know?
We're like 45. I don't know how much
yeah,
longer we
can't
can do
keep
this.
doing this.
Apparently, some of them still can't.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of the Dillingers back together with the original guy,
Yeah.
Dimitri. yeah.
Dimitri mini caucus or something like that.
Mini caucus.
That's
not fair.
I'm pretty sure that is his
That's
name.
fucked up.
But yeah, I mean, when Better Lovers was announced, it was like, you know, a hole was filled. I feel like probably Dillinger and Every Time I Die fans would probably say the same thing. Yeah, I mean, the introduction to them was just so brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
them putting out their first single, 30 Under 13, having this mash between metalcore and not math rock or, you know, math metal, whatever Dillinger could be classified as, but just the metalcore mixed with Greg's vocals was really just like, he did this crazy fucking band for so long, and then hearing him do like a more melodic, you know, just structured songs that are just structured normally. Then they would throw in some thrash influences in there. I mean, it was just like, we're back, you know. It really felt like we were back in that moment in time.
Is there a band that the other members of Every Time I Die start, like the singer?
Yeah,
What's that called?
Keith Buckley started a band called Many Eyes,
Okay.
and I don't think that's...
It doesn't
going
seem like it's
too good.
popping off
Yeah.
quite the way that Better Lovers is.
I think they just put out a record, but I don't
Oh,
know.
did they?
I don't know.
Because
if
I remember they
anyone-
put out that single.
Yeah,
Did
they
we review it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put out a whole record, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with like supergroups, I typically would not be interested. Like,
No.
even within this scene, I feel like there's probably like 3 bands that Greg has been in that
Yeah.
I don't care about. And there's a lot of that. Like, a lot of these guys will, like the Mastodon guys have a bunch of side projects and stuff like that. And it's typically whatever.
Yeah.
But it really was the strength
Yes.
of 30 Under 13
Yes.
that you were like, oh, this is different. This
Yeah.
feels like a main project.
Well, like in
Yes.
new bands like that, even if they are like famous people from other bands, like sometimes their first release like it falls short in some way, shape, or form, whether it's like songwriting or like production or something.
Yeah.
But they just kind of hit a home run like first at bat, like
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, it immediately got people interested. Like, there was a ton of supergroups that came from, like, Dillinger and Mastodon. There
Yeah.
was Draft Tongue Orchestra. There
Yeah.
was Killer Be Killed. I think Greg
was in that,
involved
yeah.
with that, too. Greg did solo stuff for a while as well, which I don't think I listened to any of that. Not because he's not a great musician or vocalist. It's just because it was just like,
yeah.
it's his lead singer's solo project. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
But yeah, this kind of caught the attention immediately of everyone that was fans of both of those bands. And I didn't think personally, I didn't think that we'd see a full length. I didn't think this would last until a full length would come out. I thought it was like, okay, they'll probably be done in a year. Like this, like both bands, both Every Time I Die and Dillinfer will probably just get back together, and that'll be it. And we won't hear anything else of this, and it'll just be this kind of like flash in the pan. But here we are.
Seems like Every Time I Die is very severed. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
over.
probably right about that.
Yeah.
But here we are. They put out their first full length record not long after releasing an EP. It's called Highly Irresponsible. It's fucking brutal. But let's not say anything else. How about we just get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about we just do it the I Quit My Band way?
Yeah.
And we just dive right in.
Yeah.
It's I Quit My Band. It's better lovers.
It's better level.
Better lovers. Here's the first track. It's called Lie Between the Lines.
Start off with this like little creepy arpeggio
Yeah.
thing.
Little Creed here.
Yeah, they brought Tremonti in just for a bit.
Just for a sec.
That
We had
would be
him for a
awesome
bit,
if
but
they're like,
that's-
and our other member,
Mark.
Mark Tremonti.
Yeah, because people were really busted about it. Dillinfer breaking up Every Time I Did and Creed.
And Creed. They're like, what about Creed?
But the riff
Give me
that
the
comes in here is
Yeah.
absolutely stunning in its
right now.
brutality.
Listen to how low and heavy those guitars are.
Crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
Right away, the production is awesome.
Yes, yes. That's one thing that I think I listen to a little bit of Every Time I Die, like in between listening to the songs on this record. The production, like, completely burns any of those records, like
Yeah.
on here. Like, it just was made so well. The mix is fucking incredible.
To me, too, metal music these days sounds so cookie cutter.
Yeah,
Like cardboard drums, like low, genty guitars that people really don't know how to record properly, and
Yeah.
like disgusting, muddy bass. I mentioned the production before. This thing, like from the EP and this, and Every Time I Die's prior work, has kind of not fallen into that cookie cutter thing. You
No.
know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, I think this sounds as like Every Time I Die was a little bit more messy. Mixes were a little bit more dirty.
Yeah.
Dillinfer was a little bit more cleaned up. I would say this kind of falls within the Dillinfer. Like, it's sharp. It's very sharp.
Yeah, because there's so much stuff going on
Yeah.
in the Dillingers. Like when they would get into those sections where it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, you want to be able to like,
Has to
what
be
the fuck
clear.
is
You
going
almost
on?
do need cleanness there.
Yeah.
But like that type of production that like you can hear everything clearly, but it just sounds huge and thick. And like there's like the bass is so defined. It's not like mud. It's just
Yeah.
like every bass
Yeah.
hit. It's like
Yeah. I mean, I think if anything is going to be, like, just by this first track, you just realize that, like, they do such a great job. If it wasn't evident on the EP, they do such an amazing job of blending the two worlds of both of these bands. Like,
Yeah.
it's not Every Time I Die with Greg singing, and it's not Dillinger Escape Plan with
The dudes from Every Time I Die.
yeah, the dudes from Every Time I Die. Like, the riffs are just like, they're easy to understand. Like, there's melodies here too,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing to hear Greg do. Like just kind of straightforward singing, while he's also doing his just animalistic fucking screams. Like,
Just-
Crazy, dude.
his
They're just-
voice is so insane.
yeah, he's so versatile.
This part's so sick.
How do
Yeah.
you get to that?
I don't know how you
no
sustainably
idea.
do that.
How do you figure out that you can do that?
Well, that's the thing too about like Greg's scream. I just needed that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I needed that.
Fuck, dude. That's the thing about Greg's scream. Like, there are metal singers that found like they figured out how to scream.
Yeah,
Like it's like a vocal trick.
yeah,
It is.
And like it'll just stay in like a certain like, you know, like expressive
Yeah.
zone. Greg just literally sounds like he's losing his mind on every fucking song.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
sound like it's a trick. It just
Yeah.
sounds like he can do this.
and it sounds like he can turn it up, like during, like he'll be singing, and he can go from like 1 to 1,000 so quick.
Yeah.
He just like it just somehow I don't know how you push yourself to that ability, but
Agreed.
yeah.
And there's like different like levels of it. Like he'll hit you with like the 5 scream.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then save the like
Save the-
11 scream
Yeah.
for later.
It sounds painful.
It does.
Yeah. It sounds like the cover of this album, just a guy blowing his head off.
Such a great cover.
Yeah.
It is
great
a
cover.
really, really good cover. And
I think I said it before. It reminds me of that Butthole Surfers
Yeah, a little
cover
bit
with
like
the pencil gun in the
that.
air.
Electric Larry Land. Yeah.
Usually bands like this too, if I'm generalizing, have like awful artwork or like unremarkable, like their logo's a bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
And it's black and whatever. But to see something so vibrant and colorful
Yeah,
and fun
it is kind of different.
is different. It
Yeah.
breaks the mold, and I like that.
This is the second song, on, by the way, Your Misplaced Self.
I don't know if we said the last one too. That was Lies.
Lie Between
Lie
the
Between the
Lines.
Lines.
Yep.
Yeah, this is like a quick little thrasher.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would have pushed it a little maybe further in the like track
Yeah.
listing as a breakup for later stuff, but
Yeah. I'd probably agree there, because like there's some thrashers on the back half that are quick, like the quick and dirty like this. One thing that I don't love about Better Lovers is when we talked about it like briefly the other day, is when Greg is like he has to sing a melody.
Yeah.
Like it's not like nothing's bad about it. And I'm not even sure if I'm just not used to him doing that yet, and like I will get used to it. But like I just don't think he has like this singing voice to like carry a tune. Like I'd much rather hear him just completely going off. Like my favorite parts of these songs are not the choruses.
I would agree.
Yeah.
No, I think Keith did a really good job of
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
when he would sing over their riffs, he had a way of like soaring, and it had a more traditional rock singer
Yeah.
type of sound to it, where I felt like that those sections worked more. Because there's even sections on like Miss Machine where it's a more melodic like singing section that, you know, because a lot of times they're playing riffs that aren't hitting very melodic notes because it's heavy, so it's like you're like trying to sing over these like half steps and shit like that. So I would agree. I don't love when he is like singing in a traditional like rock singer way over that stuff, but usually they're short and he goes back to fucking screaming in my face.
I disagree with both of you. I like it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You do?
I do. I have nothing to base it off of. I never listened to Dillinfer or anything, and I admire this guy's versatility and how he can. To me, it pulls off both. And I enjoy singing more than screaming, to be honest. But the contrast between both makes it more enjoyable for me. If it was all one thing, I would be like bored or numb to it in some way.
I agree. It definitely shows off his versatility.
Yeah.
Like he can definitely like he's doing more than just one thing, which is nice.
Sometimes when metal singers, this is my favorite song on the record.
This
by
is
the
called
way.
A White Horse Covered in Blood.
Sometimes when metal singers, like screaming singers, sing in a song, it's total cheese.
Yeah.
Like, ba, da, ba, ba, like it's just bad.
Yeah.
But like I feel like he does it.
He's still
decent.
bringing the intensity.
Yeah, there's still like a grit in his
Yeah.
voice. Like there's still like a gravelly sandpaper thing going
Yeah.
on, which is, adds to it.
Yeah, this is another example of him showing off how versatile he is as a vocalist. Like this is like this is probably him playing the most like chill out of any point in the record. Even though this is not a chill song, this is a total like barn burner.
There's no chill on any of
No,
this.
there's maybe one,
Maybe.
but not really. But yeah, that's crazy. Like this, like how do you feel about this chorus?
I'm not a fan. It's like because of those like half steps, it gets like this like there's like a theatrical quality to it a little bit. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's just not that satisfying. It's not as satisfying as when he's just like in the pocket with a like heavy ass section going at it.
Yeah.
There's just something about like the progression and him trying to stay melodic within that progression that just doesn't hit my ears in a like pleasing way.
Like it doesn't make me not like this song.
Agreed.
Like the song is great and enjoyable, and when I'm driving in the car or something, like I will headbang to every single note of it. but I just love when it's just more like just fucking choppy and hard to predict.
I guess like the way I would describe it is this works.
Yeah, it works.
It works. The rest of the song, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're at like, fuck yeah, that works.
That works.
Right back up
That'll
to fuck
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I feel the exact same way. Like
This fucking riff, dude,
Yeah.
with these panic chords.
so sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like Dillinger, but just like more rock and roll. You
Yeah,
know?
they were like, let's write a groove metal album instead of
like-
like math.
Dillinger and Thin Lizzy combined. It's like
Thin
you know?
Dillinger, dude.
Yeah, Thin
Ah, dude.
Dillinger.
The Lizzie Escape
Thin
Plan.
Dilly. The Lizzie escape plan, yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
This is Future Myopia. This is one of the singles they put out. Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the most brutal songs on the album.
I mean,
Yeah.
insane.
Oh,
That
that's
riff
a
is
good
so
riff.
sick. And the drummer has a cool style. I think it really fits the music well because like everything he does is so even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's always
Symmetrical.
yeah,
Yeah.
always like single strokes but fast as hell.
Yeah.
It's not like super choppy.
Yeah.
Which like when I like listen to Dillinger, that's what I think of, like
Yeah.
crazy drum chops.
Yeah.
But it fits this style, I think,
Yeah.
better.
This part, I don't. Another thing I don't like is when they put this vocal effect on Greg's vocals. It happens a couple.
The
of times.
harmony.
The fake robotic harmony.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty divided on that. I like all the singing.
I don't like the
Everywhere.
that part would be fine with me if it didn't have that very
I
high
think they
pitched
just doubled
thing.
his vocal and then like, I don't know what. but-
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that you can do that like automated
listen
to
harmony. Yeah. But yeah, everything else
Yeah.
makes up for it in my mind.
Yeah, no, I think I feel similar to you, but I also don't know what I would put there.
Yeah.
like I think JJ has a point. If like if it was just more screaming,
It would
you
be,
might
it all
just be like,
balances itself out.
yeah,
I would
And
say
it's all
that for
gnar
sure.
to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
The end of this song, like the last,
Yeah.
like before they go into the last chorus,
Yeah.
is just the most brutal
Yeah.
shit.
Should we get to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that disgusting
Yeah,
bass
the
tone.
bass is fucking insane. And then he's doing this like low rumbling thing. So fucking Mike Patton.
Yeah.
I love how much of an influence Mike Patton is on him. God.
God damn, dude.
Like he can be your friend on this record, or he could be just the most
Stabbing you.
Yeah, just stabbing you. Yeah, it's just like you don't know where he's gonna come from. He can
Yeah.
hit you at any fucking turn.
Yeah, I mean because like Mike Patton was the guy that Dillinger got when
Yeah.
Dimitri left, and I don't know if anybody could have filled the shoes from him other than Greg.
No, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I don't think he has as classically like good of a singing voice as Mike Patton, but just that versatility.
Yeah,
Does Mike Patton hate Wolfmother?
he's the guy that hates Wolfmother. He's the guy from
Did
Faith
you hear
No
this
More.
fucking shit?
Are you hearing this?
Are you hearing
It's the
this?
best video ever.
Oh.
Just find comments of me being like, no,
Wrong.
wrong. Yeah, I mean, Greg is he's just such an interesting vocalist. And I think we've talked about it before, too. It's just like, Dillinger's from Jersey. And just the way Greg, like, looks like how he would be on, like, the cast of Jersey Shore.
Like a Guido screaming his brains
Guido.
out.
Yeah. Dude, especially like early Dillinger, where he was just like this jack
He's just
dude
a
in a
jack
black
dude.
shirt.
Hey,
Yeah.
cabs are here.
Yeah. Cabs are here.
Jim Tan laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does look like Mike the Situation,
Yeah.
Sorrentino.
Don't put that evil on him, dude. Do not do that.
I'm sorry.
Where's the beach? Dude?
Yeah, Jim Tan Laundry, bro.
GTL.
Let's move on. This is Deliver Us from Life. This is, I think, my least favorite on the record. This one feels the most, to me, the most disjointed, and it feels like Greg doing something with his vocal that is, it's not like he can't do it, but he sounds like a different guy here.
Yeah. I I agree. It's probably my least favorite thing on the album. I do think that they needed a change of pace.
Yeah, I
and
would
they
agree.
and they knew that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're making like another EP. Kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
You know.
And they do like a gothic thing later on the record that I actually really like.
It plays off way better.
Yeah, so like this kind of like Deftones-y sort of vibe, I think that they could land better, and they do on the back half of the record.
I didn't think about Deftones, but that is a good
Chelsea
comparison.
Wolf-ish, like it's spacey and I don't know.
But this chorus I don't like. Just feels very conventional where the rest of the record is so unconventional.
Bordering on cheese.
There's a Nickelback quality to it.
And like they try to make the chorus cool by throwing in the like
if they were talking about like some guy smacking your girl's ass at the bar.
It's a little bit Fall to Pieces, Velvet Revolver.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
You get whiffs of it. It's not
fall to.
It's not completely there, but you get enough whiffs of it where you're like, didn't you just beat my ass outside of a bar?
Yeah.
Didn't you just tie like a master lock to a bandana and beat me senseless?
And it is like
so vivid.
That was pretty vivid.
I don't want to talk about it.
Lock.
Jesus.
I mean, it is. I will say it is incredibly hard to write like melodic choruses when you're trying to be in a very intense, fast-paced band. Like, it's usually like they all play off the same way. It's always gonna be like, okay, let's switch it to be mid-tempo here, and then go back to the fucking, the fast beat or something like that. So it is tough. I just feel like they do it on a lot of tracks, which like I don't like 30 Under 13 and like some songs of the EP like become so small, like. They didn't. I felt like that those songs did not give a fuck about being catchy whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like it seems new, like a new thing for them. Like let's try to make something that is going to be like metalcore-ish.
Yeah, a little more accessible. Yeah. I would have to think that they are probably even surprised by how well the project has been received. Like I think it's kind of gotten picked up more than, especially a lot more than your average like supergroup or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the song we'll talk about later, which they released as like the third single, I think you could hear that on the radio.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think of like the band that, after hearing that, really every other song on the album.
Yeah. Let's move on. This is Drowning in a Burning World.
Really good song titles on this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sick.
Dude, that Mastodon style riff.
This is so fucking Brent Hines. Yeah, this one reminded me.
He can do so many different voices, man.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Jesus Christ.
So crazy.
Yeah, it's like they knew. They knew, like, some of the guys might not like that last one. Let's start with...
The bros might not like that last one.
But, like, again, this is 35 minutes. Each song is, like, 4 minutes, right? It's like... Do you really think it'll be effective to hit people in the face with this for 40 minutes?
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, but like that's the conundrum of like, what do? You could put a noise track in there. You could do something, or you could make like a grab your girlfriend, lighters in the air song, which is what they chose. I don't know.
Well, no, and the guys are good enough to write those kinds of songs.
Yes.
Like Every Time I Die has like their anthems.
Yes.
Like Milk Lizard has like an anthemic enormous chorus.
Yeah.
So I could see those guys still wanting to like flex that muscle and just be like, I don't want to just play to the guys in the beards like this.
No.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, unless you have like the fucking cardio of like Usain Bolt or something, you can't mosh for that long. You need a breather.
Especially this song. Like this song does not let up off the gas the entire time.
One of the fastest, most brutal on the record.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean you can tell just by the first riff. I mean, listen to the absolutely crazy. I thought you were going to be like songs like Milk Lizard and Sunshine the Werewolf, just beautiful melodic songs
Prancer.
like that.
Yeah.
Songs you could dance with your girlfriend to.
I didn't realize that 30 Under 13 came out to 43%, which I thought was kind of cool.
Is that you think that's a dig?
I don't think it's a dig. I think it's probably a tip of that.
Explain that to me.
Dillinger Escape Plan. The song that they typically end their sets with is 43% Burnt. It's off their
First EP.
First EP.
Yeah.
No, first album.
First
So you
album.
divide 30 by 13 and it's 43.
It's 43, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, repeating.
Yeah.
I think it's a tip of the hat.
Might be a little lore, huh?
It's a little bit of a. I wasn't sure if it was a dig or a tip of the hat.
Well, like you guys said, it doesn't seem like Dillinger ended in a way that like people were mad at each other or whatever.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're calling it quits.
I do think there have been like at
Conflicts.
times because I think who's the main dude, Ben
Ben
Wyman. I think he's like it's his project. Like,
Yeah.
and it's very like that kind of thing. And I was watching an interview with Greg, and they were asking him like, how do you feel about them playing Calculating Infinity now? And he's like, I think it's cool. He's like, I didn't make that record, so if guys want to hear that, that's awesome. And then he did say, just don't play Miss Machine, man.
Dude, I love that. That's a
Me too.
great philosophy to have.
Yeah.
Just like, if it's not me, it's fine.
yeah.
But don't play the best
I
one.
think I would totally agree. If,
Yeah.
like I'm in a band currently that I was not in before.
Yeah.
If for some reason I left and they brought in another guy, just don't play
don't
the
do
sick shit I wrote.
Yeah, don't do the ones where I sing. yeah. It is like different when you sing them too. Like
Yeah.
you probably wrote the lyrics for like, dude, just don't touch that one.
Yeah.
And Dimitri's such a different singer than
Completely
Greg.
different animal.
Yeah.
He's like Frankenstein, like versus like the rabid animal that Greg is. Like that dude's like a scary like
Like an oaf.
I don't know about an oaf, but like he's
Or
definitely
like
just
an
a
ogre
different
type
guy.
situation.
Yeah, I mean, Calculating Infinity is just them at their most,
Yeah.
like mathy and just
the most
disgusting.
crazy. Here is Everything Was Put Here For Me. Another complete fucking. I mean, let's just
Dude.
go back there.
Yeah.
Wait. Like,
That's insane.
your vocal cords are gone, dude.
And to just
Say
be able to
goodbye.
conjure that at will. You know, just like, what am I going to do here? I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This feels the most Every Time I Die to me, I think.
The riffs, I think, yeah.
It feels like the most, like, rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. It is. I don't know if it's catchy, but it doesn't. Like, it kind of feels like it represents, like, the album cover the best, you know?
Yes.
Kind of, like, fun rock and metal rather than, like, the dark fucking murderous shit that Dillinger was doing. I mean...
It's interesting that they're touring with Full of Hell, who is very into darkness and murder.
It is interesting they're touring with Full of
It's a
Hell.
dichotomy, you know?
Yeah, like, Full of Hell is so scary.
They are scary.
Where this band is, like, has a little bit more of a fun vibe, even
Yeah.
though it's very fucking brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that chorus again, like I can deal with this one a little bit more because it's like it feels a little bit broken up.
And he's like screaming still.
Yeah, he's
it's
still screaming.
melodic, but there's
Yeah.
still that like drive in his voice.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't love the lyrics there. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but you know, just the. We won't be
fucking
given what
need
we
or whatever.
wanted, but won't be given what we fucking need. It just seems so like.
Yeah, yeah. The fucking feels like thrown in like fucking me.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Damn, they recreated the Spider-Land. Fucking,
I saw that. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
For them.
Let's move on. Superman died paralyzed.
Just going after my boy Reeves.
I
again,
know.
dude.
It's just how I
Eminem.
feel. Oh
now
my
him,
Reeves
dude.
here.
Yeah, catching
Yeah.
strays.
Let the man lie in peace, for Christ's
Seriously,
sake.
he was fucking Superman.
He was Superman. This one I think is easily the fucking craziest.
Yeah, this part almost reminds me of like Megadeth or something. Like the megaphone over like the
Yeah.
riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, let me hear that. The fucking I can
It's
see
the
it.
Constitution,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean the guitars on here. Like we didn't even talk about like the first track. Like how there's a fucking sick ass guitar solo on that first track.
Jordan Buckley is a riff machine.
There's shreddage
dude.
all over
Yeah,
this
it's
thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that double bass, dude.
It's
just
like the
galloping.
most precise strumming.
Like that feels like Rain
Yeah.
and Blood. That like
Yeah.
yeah. God
Good Lord.
damn,
Can you imagine
dude.
seeing this live? Just that fucking thumping.
We could.
We could see it live, yeah. We should see it.
We need to see it live.
Sorry.
I was like, what is happening?
My phone is exploding.
I was like, I think the sound quality just got better somehow.
But yeah, this one feels like you're just being pummeled.
Yeah, it does not let up whatsoever. I mean, none of them really do, but this one felt the most Dillinger to me. I guess if the song previous, Everything Was Put Here For Me, was the most Every Time I Die, this one is the most fucking...
I would agree. All those little
All
like
over the place.
asides and just
Yeah.
how consistently
Yeah.
fucking heavy
Yeah.
it is.
nuts.
And this part still reminds me of Megadeth, but I mean
Yeah,
that in
this
a
is-
good way. I love Megadeth.
What's the courtroom song that Megadeth has?
Captive Honor.
Yeah.
Ain't no honor.
Yeah.
Your soul better belong to Jesus because your ass belongs to me.
This fucking taps. Good Lord, dude. But just...
I did like the one lyric in this song, let the worst of us inherit the earth.
That's,
And it
that's
kicks off
cool.
that like super brutal section.
What do you think about Greg's lyrics on this record? Like, I haven't given them a big dive, but like,
I think this might be the line. I don't know.
will you choose to be awake? Is what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, and then some of them feel like kind of just metal lyrics.
A little cheese.
Yeah, there's only so much stuff you can write
Yeah.
over this stuff, and I thought some of the Dillinger lyrics were really good.
Yeah.
And sometimes the lyrics, they don't have to be like the most deep or thought provoking. Like
Yeah.
the ones on 30 Under 13, or am I saying that right?
Yes.
I always fuck it up.
13.
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30. Like, how far are you willing to reach? I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
it's the perfect line to
Yeah.
open that song.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I think that like some of them are cheese, like when they hit you the wrong way, but for the most part they fit
Yeah.
and they don't stand out. There's a couple that jump out where you're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, the fucking on that one song,
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right. The what we wanted and what we need. I'm just like, typical fucking rock song shit. This is At All Times. This is
what you guys were referring to earlier.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
where I think they do this sound a bit better. Like
Yeah.
it holds the song together a bit more. Very Deftones in my opinion.
Very
yeah, I would agree with that.
And this is the last single that they put out. And
interesting.
like if they were really
Interesting to put out like a slow one as
Yeah.
a single.
Yeah, I think, but like you could hear this on the radio.
Yes.
You could not hear a white horse covered in blood on the radio because
No.
we live in a shit world.
Yeah.
That's why.
And that would
No
be
one
sick.
listens to rock anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Like
is
I think
not
this
bad.
is the best
sounds
chorus
like
section I've
Ozzy.
heard.
A little.
Ooh, I didn't even think about the Ozzy comparison, but I can kind of hear it.
Well,
I like
these-
this.
Yeah. There was some songs off of One of Us is the Killer that kind of remind me of this. Like the title track. There was a couple other ones too.
Yeah, there's one that I'm unretrified.
Unretrified. That was an older.
Is that off
Dillinger
Miss
song.
Machine?
That was off of Miss Machine. Yeah.
But it does have like a singing section to it.
Let me try to find what I'm talking about.
I mean, all these guys love Black
maybe I'm just
Sabbath. Like this music wouldn't exist without Black
Oh,
Sabbath.
100%.
So there's definitely some sort of Ozzy influence or something
Yeah,
in
there-
all of this stuff.
There's an emotional like arena rock quality to this.
Yeah.
Which is like something I guess I'm struggling with this band. Like I don't know, like what we were talking about with the choruses and stuff being so like anthemic and like kind of cheesy. Like I don't know how I feel about this song. Like, it's good.
There's only
but
one
it's-
that I feel like is cheese though, and it's the Nickelback one.
Yeah, I mean,
All of this other stuff is delivered convincingly. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
like this isn't
Fine.
bad, but it's not what I listen to Better Lovers for, or what I would listen to Dillinger for. Or
I don't disagree with that. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
And like every time it came up on the record, I was like, oh, this is a decent diversion.
yeah,
But it does feel like this would happen back in the day. Like you'd be playing Xbox 360 and you would hear this song by them
Yeah.
on like NHL EA
Yes.
Sports. and then you go listen to the rest of the records and be like, what the fuck is
was
that?
that? Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Like, I don't
True.
care about that one at all.
So it does, I don't know how much of that is in their thought of like we need at least something that can have crossover appeal. Like,
Yeah.
like we know how big the Dillinfer and Every Time I Die tent is.
Yeah.
We've been living in it for 20 years.
It's just it's weird for a band that, you know, guys from both of those bands seem like they are interested in playing to this like fan base of like melodic choruses and fucking big anthemic refrains. Like,
Yeah.
And it may be something that they like, but not as much
they
as
just
they
have
like
never gotten to-
riffing hard. You know,
right, yeah.
Well, variety is the what is it? Variety is the spice of life.
spice.
it is
Life.
the spice.
There you
of
go.
life.
So you can't always rage.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's like a dash of rage and all of this stuff, but not like I'm gonna bash my head into a brick wall rage. It's more of just like, you know, let me cut up this cardboard box and
Yeah.
throw it away or something like that.
And it's not like this is just some like, I mean, still listen to this. Like, we're not slow dancing. We're
No.
not crying here.
It's intense.
But, you know, it's nothing like what I want.
Future myopia.
No,
yeah.
it's not a future myopia. But yeah, I mean, obviously they got to throw one in there that's gonna break up the album a bit.
Right.
Let's move on to the last track. This is Love as an Act of Rebellion.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Not
like-
to be confused with Joy as an Act of Resistance.
Idols, dude.
Idol.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like, do you end the album on the pretty ballad? That would make sense. No, let's end it
Nah.
on the heaviest thing, maybe on the record.
Can't add the album on the ballad, dude. Yeah, I mean, this is just another instance of them doing what they do best.
Yep.
I mean, just unbelievable.
Just listen to what we're hearing right now.
That
Yeah,
fucking bass.
the
though.
bass fucking is thick as hell on this. Listen to that. Thumping.
I think we've said it all.
We kind of have said it all.
I've
I
said
mean,
it all.
there's nothing that is different on this track. I mean, it's fucking
No.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to like. I do remember this. I guess they've been doing it throughout the album, but it seems like they're trying to bridge that gap of the melodic section and the super heavy shit. Because I think that is kind of what is catching you off guard and me a little bit off guard on a song like At All Times.
Yeah.
Is just how big of a departure.
Yeah.
You know, finding that way to bridge the gaps. And we've seen a lot of bands struggle with that, like Mastodon. You know, like
Yeah.
they went through their like very melodic phase where it was just like, this doesn't feel like Mastodon
Yeah.
anymore, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Better Lovers is doing it way better than Mastodon has in the past. Because Mastodon kind of like, they sort of abandoned the thing that made them cool and the evilness about them, whereas Better Lovers is like very much focusing on it. They're just trying to make it a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
Which I can respect, but like, again, like,
This is-
listen to this, like it, like we're still putting in those panic chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still getting what we fucking want here. Like, the really only break on the album is At All Times. Like, this is still pretty fucking badass.
Yep.
Anyone else?
I agree.
Have we been fucking hit in the head enough with?
Yeah.
Do we want to do the CAs?
Let's do it.
Who's going first this time?
You go first.
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, I really like this. I think I think the biggest takeaway, the thing that like shocks me the most, well, not shocks me, but the just thing that I'm most impressed with when hearing this is, I said it before, but how they're able to blend the two worlds so nicely of Every Time I Die and Dillinfer and come out with something that does sound like a unique project and not just like Every Time I Die continuation or a Dillinfer continuation or trying to copy off of one of those. Like Greg's vocals, like he's still bringing it. He sounds better than ever. I think Every Time I Die, the Every Time I Die guys are probably bringing their most murderous riffs, probably heavier than anything I've heard Every Time I Die do. And I don't know them that much, so don't kill me for saying that. But it's very fucking intense, very heavy, a very impressive first record. But yeah, I think my problem with it is the refrain. Like I don't think I love any of the refrains on this record, any of the choruses. Like I just think they're all there just to get me to the next part that is going to kick my ass into oblivion with the riffs and just fucking just poke you and stab you. Like I just love those stabby sections and not really the fucking, cover you with the blanket sections and like try to, don't make me think you're this melodic band. I know what you are.
You can't deny your nature.
Don't deny the nature.
They are sorry, I'm interrupting, but they are kind of a brand new band, so who knows
Yeah,
what they are.
Exactly. Like they're trying something different that they're like Dillinfer most certainly really they did it pretty rarely. Every Time I Die did it a little bit more. They were able to be melodic more, but yeah, it's just something about Greg's vocals doing these big melodies that is just hitting me sort of wrong. I don't know. I mean, it feels a little bit cheesy, not too cheesy, nothing like that's making me like not want to listen to this ever, but it is something that's making me like I want a little bit more evilness. I don't like. This is a fun record, which is good, but I want the second record to go a little bit harder with just like some meanness and just like, I mean, it's not like it's not mean, but something that is just fucking more Dillinfer. That's like what I'm trying to say. I want more Dillinfer. I want more panic chords. I want the chorus to be filled with panic chords. I want it to be like Prancer.
You want the chorus to not exist.
I want the chorus to maybe not exist. Yeah. I don't want to say like I hated it because I really didn't hate it. It's just something that I'm like, I feel like I kind of said it when we covered White Horse Covered in Blood on one of our like past episodes where I was just like, I'm a little bit disappointed that 30 Under 13 was so brutal in the way that song played out. Like that chorus was like a thrash riff. Where these are like like punky, and I'm just not sure if I like love that yet. But in terms of like how fucking fun this record is, how much of a return it is for fans of both of those bands, I'm gonna give it a 7-1.
I'll go next. I don't really have anything to base any of this off of in terms of not preconceived notions, but like prior work. So I was just kind of going into this cold, and I mean, besides the EP that we reviewed, obviously, but I really enjoyed this. It's really, really intense in your face. Like we touched on in the beginning, the production is really sick, and this genre so often I am lost by it or that's not the way to say that. It loses me because everything sounds so shitty and like it's made in a laptop, but this like isn't quite that, and that does a lot for me. The singer's versatility really brings me into this, where I think it would have, in contrast to probably what you guys feel, the versatility really brings me into this, maybe because I come from like a Sabbath melodic heavy stuff realm where I'm like, okay, sick, I love that everything's balanced out by stuff. Maybe the melodies and some of the choruses or whatever are a bit cheese. I can acknowledge that. I can totally see a bunch of bearded black shirt wearing dudes like just like singing along to like whatever. And this isn't sing along stuff, but at the same time, I just think it benefits for me from the variety that it displays, not only in the sounds, the songwriting, but also the singing and the performances. It's really good. This band is interesting, and maybe this isn't a band for you guys because of the balance, because this might just be their trajectory. Like, they're brand new. There's no standard for them to live by.
There's no standard anymore.
There's no standard anymore.
The rules have changed.
But all that in mind, I am going to give this a 7.6 out of 10.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think that they've done a really good job of combining the best of Dillinfer and Every Time I Die and I don't know if they've exactly cracked like the way forward yet. I feel a little bit of that on the record with like the choruses and then like the two slower melodic balladier songs. But as a combination of the elements of each band that I liked, this is like pretty goddamn good. The riffs and performances are absolutely unbelievable. Like there were just so many songs that I would listen to that I'd just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I cannot believe that this riff and this vocal and this drum is going over. And yeah, the melodic sections, they're not my favorite part. And I think that like just the way that I described them, they're just like a small come down in a song that I otherwise love.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that just I don't know, maybe a different melodic approach would hit me different. You know, or you know, finding it just feels like that was more Keith's thing, and Keith had a voice that fit that style a bit better. But Greg's, like you said, his versatility is unbelievable. And if you have a guy that can do all of that different stuff, why not let him do it all? Yeah, I really liked it. I'm excited for, you know, if they keep making music together, I'm excited for what they're going to do next. I'm going to go 7-3.
Wow, split the diff.
Split the diff. It's a 7-3.
What are we calling that?
I would say that's a brutal hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A brutal hell
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit low for a brutal hell yeah, but how could you describe it as anything less?
It's fucking brutal.
It's not
brutal.
yeah, whatever.
It's not yeah, whatever.
Hell no.
It's not even close to yeah,
No.
whatever. I mean, that's a nice hell yeah.
Yeah.
A nice hell yeah.
That's
A nice and brutal
That's
hell
a
yeah.
nice and brutal hell yeah.
We got there.
Yeah.
A nice and brutal hell
We figured
yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's like, listening to this record's like being thrown into a meat grinder.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
like, it's just going to bash your brains in.
You and a radio playing the top 40 hits got
Yeah.
thrown into a meat grinder,
Yeah.
and you listen to, while you get shredded to death,
Yeah.
something nice.
It's like something nice.
I don't know.
It's like what the fucking album cover is. Getting your face blown off by a firework.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next. I hope this project continues. Like it's such a, I don't know. It even if it's not for everybody that was a fan of either of those bands, I feel like they could still go to this and be like, well, at least we have it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this, what's cool about this is it sounds vital, and
Yeah.
supergroup music almost never sounds vital.
No.
Supergroup music a lot of times sounds like we had a weekend, we grilled burgers,
Yeah.
the kids are with our wives, and
Cooked
we
up
got
some
down, and
riffs.
we like, we put together 4 songs in a weekend.
Yeah. Chicken foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Velvet
That kind of
Revolver.
stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas this has the same level of care and attention and
Yeah.
intensity as these guys' best stuff.
Yes.
You know, I think there's songs where sometimes the balance falls one way or the other that I may be like, I like it over here more than anything else, but like this fucking rips.
Yeah.
So
It is a ripper. Tell us what you thought in the comments. What you thought of Better Lovers, Highly Irresponsible. Tell us if you liked it more than us. If you liked it, if you didn't like it as much as we did. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We'd love to have you here, folks. We'd love to have you on our side.
This is our 80th episode.
Is it our 80th
Number
episode?
80. Isn't that
I
fucking
think there's
crazy?
definitely been more than that.
Well, like if it, yeah.
I feel like I've
80th
been down here
week
for an
is
eternity.
kinda
We just never leave.
You know what I mean? Like besides the Patreons and all that other
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. There's been some non-canon episodes.
Events.
This is our
Yeah.
80th canonical episode.
What if it was our 100th episode and we didn't know?
We're approaching that.
That would be wild.
yeah, we gotta throw a big shindig, you know.
Yeah, just us 3 down here.
we could
We're
get the
like,
ferns.
Finally
back,
get
maybe.
get the ferns back.
The
Finally
ferns
get your
back.
dad.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get my dad
We
for the
gotta get
100th
your dad.
episode for sure. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Go follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe on Patreon
Bring the boom, dude.
for that Patreon content for us listening to AJ and Big Justice. It's good stuff.
How many booms does
Yeah,
Did
we're
we
gonna
give
give
that?
this a 7.3 booms
out of 10, out of a possible 10.
out of a possible 10 booms. Jimmy Fallon. Okay.
Okay, please shut the fuck up. I give your family 5 dooms.
I give your family,
Get off of my fucking set.
I give your family 3 prescriptions to Ozempic.
Oh God. Yeah. But thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's been I Quit My Band. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.